To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa, easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
Imagine a year where a couple of movies are really bugging me.
What year is that, Zach?
The year is 1998.
Wait, weren't we gonna do 4 movies this week, not 2?
Yeah, but we're making it a 2-parter. So don't have ants in your pants, you silly goose. Okay, these portals, they were getting good for a while, but now they're getting worse again. God, I need to fix that. Wait a minute. Isn't this Canberra? I'm pretty sure I've been here before. This is unusual. Oh, Jesus. Oh, shit.
Hey, buddy, get out of the road. I'm politicking here.
What? That's weird. This guy in Canberra has a New York accent. That's very bizarre.
I'm politicking here.
Yeah, well, I'm an Australian, so I'm allowed to have no shoes on and walk on the street, all right?
Oh, g'day, mate. Welcome to the White House. Wait, no, Parliament House. And this is where we...
These Australians seem very confused about what country they're in.
Oh, there's the president, the prime minister, man.
Fucking Struth. Although it's great to be here, I've got a mission to do. I kind of ignored it last time, but I need to get going. I need to start building that giant portal gun. That disembodied voice / nanobots told me that I needed to build this giant portal gun. And for some reason, I really feel like that's important to the plot of the future episodes.
Did I hear someone say they need to build a giant portal gun?
Who's asking?
Why, it's me, Bob Catter.
Oh, Bob Catter, of course.
Australian.
Who else would it be?
I probably live in Queensland, but I'm in Canberra right now.
It makes sense. You travel around. You know, you gotta visit the states, as it were. That's for all those Americans out there. You know.
If you want a giant portal gun bigger than my cowboy hat,
yep,
then
that I'll do.
You've got to go down to Dave's portal gun shop.
Dave's portal gun shop? That's a thing in Canberra?
Yeah, he'll fix you up with all the stuff you need to make your big portal gun.
Oh, wow. Well, that's very convenient. That's very helpful.
You're welcome. I'm going to go be conservative, but accidentally woke sometimes every now and then. Goodbye.
I hate it when I trip over in the morning and be accidentally woke. Nice hat. All right. Well, I guess I got to go to Dave's portal gun shop, emporium thing. Oh, it's this... Oh, wow, this is a weird building. Oh my god, there's like sprockets. I can hear the humming of like energy and other things. And that was a smashing plate. Oh dear. Lot of busyness going on in this establishment.
Why, hello. Welcome to Dave's portal shop. My name is Tony and I'm the owner.
Your name's Tony?
Yes.
Not Dave?
Dave does not exist.
Oh!
It's to protect my identity.
You know what? That's very wise in the modern era. I think I wasn't sure about you at first, but now I realize you're a very wise old individual.
I'm very wise and wanted in many quadrants.
Yep. All right, this checks out. So I need a portal gun. I need like a really big one. It's very important for the plot of future episodes. Can you help me out?
Let me have a look here in this cabinet of portal guns. Why, there's a small portal gun.
Nope, that can't do. I need a big one.
There's an extra small portal gun.
No, I need a really big one.
There's a portal gun replicant of Rick and Morty, very popular with the annoying men.
That makes sense. That checks out. But no. When I talked to you, I stipulated that I need a really big one. That was kind of the main thing.
Well, let me have a look in here. I've got a medium-sized portal gun.
No. I literally led the thing.
Sized portal gun.
Hey, now we're getting somewhere. Keep going.
I'm gonna have to check the other cabinets. I think it might be...
Oh my god, we're gonna be here a while.
Ah, yes. Why, how could I have forgotten? It's Big Bertha the portal gun.
Whoa, Big Bertha. That's an original name. No one's ever used that one before.
Inspired by Borderlands.
Ah, yes, everyone's favorite movie to come out recently.
Ah, there you go. That'll be...
Oh my god, it's massive. How the heck are we going to get it out of your shop? I came through a regular doorway.
Why, the door is bigger on the middle than it is on either side.
That makes no fucking sense. You fucking Hoovering fan. I knew it as soon as I walked in here that you were just a wacky Doctor Who fan.
No, I don't like Doctor Who.
Whoa. What?
No.
Surely. I saw you and I thought this must be a Doctor Who fan.
I'm a Star Trek Voyager fan.
Oh, that's somehow worse.
Oh, well, you have your portal gun, so I'm going to go now.
All right, well, see you later, weird toady person.
Wait, you gotta pay for that.
You already left. It's mine now. All right, well, I guess I'll just get this powered up and off I go. Don't need to do a podcast this time. That's weird. Usually I have to do a podcast before I get to the end goal of my endeavors, but I've gotten to the end goal first. I'll just have to turn it on and... Oh, it's powering up. Oh my god, Sandro, you were in the portal gun.
I was like a genie inside of the portal gun.
I've turned it on and you exploded out of it. I think you destroyed my new portal gun. What the fuck?
Oh no, you're gonna have to fix it.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go back to Tony and get him to fix it.
Yeah. It's okay, though. I think it just needs a new crystal.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Don't add more lore to this already convoluted fucking story.
The Kyber crystal that you will get all the information in our new prequel, The Podcaster Light.
Oh, yeah. Nope, that's already been cancelled, even before you mentioned it.
It's going to get a lot of hate, but it's going to be not bad, even though I haven't seen it yet. And it is going to be cancelled after one season, even though I thought it was only going to be a mini-series and there wasn't going to be any more seasons anyway.
No, they announced a season 2 and they were like, nope, actually no, never mind.
Man, fans suck. Anyway, I haven't seen it. It's probably bad.
Man, fans suck, says guy who hasn't seen it so doesn't know if it's any good.
Oh my god, it's Oldie but a Goodie. You could deal with that plot later.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, could you fix that up for me while I'm doing a podcast?
Oh, I'll do that right after I make this pizza.
Oh my god, he just flew out the window. That guy's crazy. I don't know about you, but Tony's really warming up on me, you know?
They make some weird people in Canberra, I'll tell you what.
Oh, absolutely. Typical Canberran.
Fuck, Zach, oh my gosh, last week we said we'd do 4 movies. What happened? Why is there only 2 in this episode title?
Because we're dumb. That was a stupid idea. How the heck are we gonna do 4 movies? That's ridiculous. I mean, what were we fucking thinking?
For real.
Last time we did this, it went to like 4 a.m. and we got super wasted.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if those episodes were good or not. It was just wild.
I don't want to listen to... Or it's like a Twilight Saga type scenario where we recorded it over 3 months.
Yeah, so we just decided to do part 1, part 2. We haven't done that before. I think that's a pretty cool idea.
I think it's pretty good. And also, in terms of the episode numbers, it makes it very cool because this season will end just before episode 290, which is good in my brain.
It's good in Sandro's brain, therefore it's allowed.
Zach, we're doing, out of the 2 bonus battles, we decided to do this one first, which is Antz and A Bug's Life. And if you haven't heard a bonus battle before, here's how it works. We got 2 movies, and it's 1998, and everyone was trying to rip off each other. Bug's Life and Antz are the same movie, and then Armageddon and Deep Impact are the same movie. We're doing that next week. But we're gonna do a bonus battle, which is where we got a bunch of categories, and are we gonna try and come up with the rating together, or are we doing separate ratings this time?
I'd say together.
Yeah,
together's easier. We got 4 movies total for our extended Part 1, Part 2 bonus battle. I think we should do it together.
We'll do it together with the movies, and we got the categories. We rate it. We see what happens. Some categories will carry over between the 2 battles. Some probably won't because these movies are very different to each other. But here we go. It's time to do it. Zach, let me get some lore down. No opinions.
No opinions, yes. So the main thing in a bonus battle is this is very scientific. We don't have any opinions when we come into these movie pieces, you know. We are going to examine them and scientifically dissect them using our categories to get a fact-based score that has 0 opinions.
No opinions.
0. We're leaving opinions at the door.
But Zach, let's kick this off with category number 1, or would you like some behind the scenes about these movies first?
Behind the scenes, yeah. Start with some behind the scenes, because I know there's a bit of lore behind these 2 movies. Specifically, the whole, one of these came out before the other one to cut it off sort of thing. There's a lot of, this is the prime, Disney, Pixar feud, shenanigan, bullshittery stuff, you know?
Well, the movie, it's all because of the movie Antz, which was originally meant to be, it was pitched as a Walt Disney movie in the 80s. And then just never kind of went anywhere.
Yep.
And it eventually ended up at Dreamworks. And then, they were making it at Dreamworks, and I think Pixar were like, "Grr, what was this? We're making this movie as well."
Yep.
And, somehow both people had similar ideas, or maybe the Pixar people saw the original idea from the 80s and were like, "We'll make that," and they didn't realize that the people who came up with that were actually making their movie at Dreamworks. I don't know.
There's a lot of shenanigans behind the scenes as to, who was doing what.
And this movie, I think Antz was released first, but that's because they rushed it out.
Yeah.
And then Bug's Life came along and everyone remembers that one.
Yeah. I think I remembered both equally, but they were both in the sort of same ethos of my brain. They were stored together. As sort of this one came out around the same time as this one, because one of them was I'm not going to say a ripoff, but there was shenanigans behind the scenes as to, there was same ideas thrown around, and one of them wanted to be cut off, you know?
Yeah. Well, it seems like there was a pretty public feud between Steve Jobs, who was involved in Pixar.
Steve Jobs?
Yeah, Steve Jobs helped make Pixar.
Steve Jobs? Wow. I only knew him as the Apple guy.
Yeah, no, he's the Pixar guy, too.
Yeah, I didn't know he had a hand in Pixar as well. There you go.
So he and John Lasseter, who's the director of Bug's Life, and he also did Toy Story and everything, but then he was kicked out because he sucks. Anyway.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs and him, they had a very public feud with Jeffrey Katzenberg, who is the Dreamworks guy.
Yeah.
So they were always going at each other in their interviews and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a whole thing.
I'm going to say it. Back in the day, we could have our companies have an open fuse. People could be assholes. Now everyone's too woke nowadays. You know, you can't have the face Sandra made. No, but first impressions.
Yes.
I really wanted to throw this out there. And I'm very glad about my assertions in these films because I didn't really fact check myself, but I was pretty sure that Antz was the one that cut off the other one. And watching these 2 films, the first thing I thought, and this was watching Antz, was I am watching the B movie.
I was thinking that as well.
Yeah.
The whole time I was watching Antz, I was like, this is just the B movie.
Yes, it is just the B movie. And I don't know what reflects on it worse. That this is the B movie or the B movie is this, right?
I think the B movie is better?
Well, here's the thing, right? The B movie came out, 10 years later?
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, right? Like, I'll double check.
Yeah.
Nearly 10 years later. It's 9 years later.
Okay.
The fact that the B movie pretty much copies this movie is bad on the B movie. That being said, I genuinely think I like the B movie more than I do Antz.
I think the B movie is the problem with Antz.
Yeah.
This is for the battle. The problem with Antz is that it's kind of shit.
Wow.
Not in terms of the story.
Yep.
I mean, in terms of the production.
I think the story's lackluster. It's not great.
It's fine.
I'm not huge on the story.
But with Antz, I think, like, it's just kind of cheap and rushed, and that really harms the movie.
Yeah. Well, there's another factor in the movie but I think we have a category for it, so I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I liked A Bug's Life. I liked A Bug's Life a lot. I thought that one was good. I actually had no qualms with that one. I had a lot of qualms with Antz.
So I'd seen both of these before. Honestly, with both these movies, I kind of hit a point maybe like an hour in on both of them where I was like, I'm kind of bored now.
I had seen neither of them.
Right.
I had avoided the ant ethos, you know.
I think that's why I got kind of bored with both of them, because I'd seen Antz before, and once I remembered everything about it, I was like, okay, I know where this is going. I know what's happening here.
Yeah.
The problem with the thing that kept me invested in Antz was how many random things I didn't remember from it that I'm like, what the fuck did I saw that when I was anyway. And then with Bug's Life, it was exactly as I remembered it, and nothing had changed, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's how movies work. They don't change over time unless you're watching Star Wars. Then the movies change every fucking 5 minutes.
Constantly, yeah.
Thanks, George Lucas.
Well, let's do the first category, which is plot. It's bonus battle time. Get ready. Bonus battle. We're starting off with the plot, where we're going to go through the plot. Spoilers.
Spoilers?
If you want.
Spoilers. But this is all about science. No more opinions.
Exactly.
We can't have opinions anymore. They're illegal.
We will rate the movies at the end, but plot. Which one do you want to start with? Bug's Life or Antz?
I want to start with Antz.
Okay.
I want to start with Antz because you know what? The B movie had better plot.
It's a weird plot for a kid's movie.
I liked the plot more in the B movie, even though it's stupid. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, that's kind of the point, though, of B movie, I think.
Yeah, right? Exactly, right? But it's in line with a eusocial insect. Now, I hate to bring out the scientific words, but we are in the scientific area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole plot in Antz is that eusocialism is bad and we should have individualism.
Kinda.
Kind of, right? But it's so weird because there's two individual ants. I mean, everybody's kind of individual in the movie, but there's two ants that are super, like, individualist.
Yeah.
It's the main character and the enemy ant.
Yes.
They are self-centered and do things only for themselves.
Yep, this is true.
And that's what leads to the plot points because the main antagonist ant is evil ant, and he wants to wipe out all the worker ants.
Yes.
To make an only soldier ant colony, which first off doesn't make any fucking sense.
They're
like,
not gonna survive like that. They're gonna die.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be no ones to replace them because you got no queen.
Yeah, it's just a dumb. The idea is he's going to marry the princess, right? So he can still keep it going, you know?
Yeah.
But it is really weird. It's like some sort of fascist coup sort of plot, which is weird for a kid's film. But also, it's like trying to say that we should be individuals and like. But then it has a whole teamwork plot.
You got to do it for the clan. You got to do it for the team.
It's so weird because it's like you should think for yourself, but also work as a team. But you social insects are bad.
Yeah.
But working together is good.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I was like, what? And I was thinking throughout this whole movie, it's like, did they not know how ants work? Like, was it just, like, not common knowledge what ants, like, obviously they knew they worked as a colony and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, this movie is very human for an ant-like movie, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I think this movie, it really tries to tell a human story about an ant who thinks for himself, trying to break away from society. You know, the society.
Yeah.
We're in a society. I got break away from
We
the
are
society.
in a society. And look, we're not into characters yet.
No, but, like, I think, like, yeah, it tries to human them. I mean, the both of them definitely trying to human up the ants, but particularly in ants. I mean, they've got human teeth. How human can you get, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah, the plot of Antz is, it's like, the main character, his name is Zed or Z, I can't remember.
Triggered me immediately.
Yeah, we'll get to that. He's like, I'm an individual and I don't like the colony. And then Dan Aykroyd's over here and he's like, I'm killing everyone, yeah. I like how he, like, becomes a war hero at one point. That was funny.
Yes, but there's a big problem with this all, and I'll mention this now because we also watched A Bug's Life. And the thing about A Bug's Life is it takes into account that they use social insects a lot more than this movie. This movie treats everyone as if they're human characters in a eusocial society.
Sure.
Whereas the other one treats everyone as if they're ants, which makes more sense. So then I realized, oh no, they knew what ants did. They knew how ants worked because A Bug's Life exists, and it shows that they knew how ants works. This movie's just dumb.
But Antz is trying to be a commentary, Zach. It's trying to be a commentary on capitalism and society, but it's also not anti-capitalism. It's also not anti-military. It's like, you need a balance of everything. And I'm like, I don't, do you?
I mean, that's not wrong, Sandro.
That's not wrong, but I'm also like, what is the point of this? What lesson are you trying to tell kids?
Yeah, the real question is why? Why does it tell that story?
Because, like, the whole plot of the movie is, like, you've got to be an individual and you got to do whatever you want, but as long as you're making money for the big guy, and...
What?
I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, the message is all over the place.
It is.
It's bizarre.
It's a strange one. But the plot itself is... I don't know. I think it's got some fun moments. I like all of
I do as well.
I like a lot of the adventures. There's
I also like the war story. The
Yeah.
fucking we haven't got to characters yet. We should do characters after this because I want to talk about the characters. But like meeting up with that old veteran ant, and then going off to war was a weird turn in this movie that I did enjoy.
I love that part of the movie. I think it's great.
This is a kids' film. What is happening?
Yeah, it
There's
shouldn't be in
there's
this
just a
kids
fucking
movie.
war scene in this kids' film.
I remember when I watched this as a kid and I was like, this is really... I don't know. I felt cool watching this as a kid because it doesn't feel like a kids' movie at all, really.
No. And you mentioned there's a lot of adult jokes.
So many. We'll get to them later, but there's a lot, yeah.
This is the least kid-filmy kids' film. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, and not like in like a brave little toaster, this is really dark kind of way, but in like a, this is written by the guys who wrote American Pie and you can tell kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely.
This movie's weird, I don't know why it exists, but the plot, I think, is fine.
What are you rating it? Out of 5, we're going?
5 or 10, what do you reckon?
I say 5.
5? The plot is kind of interesting, but I don't think it's interesting because the plot is interesting. I think it's interesting because I'm like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree.
So,
Go ahead, rate it. I've got something to add once you rate it.
2.5? I feel like it's right down the middle.
Yep, that's what I was going to say, except lower it by 0.5. Whatever your score was, lower it by 0.5, and then I agree.
We can give it a 2.
Yep.
That's fine.
No, but it is around a 2.5. It's just a very confused plot. And it doesn't make sense for a eusocial insect.
So a 2 out of 5 for the plot of Antz. Let's go to Bug's Life.
Bug's Life. Oh my god, they understand how ants work now.
I think the difference between these two movies is Bug's Life feels like a world. It feels like a real world, whereas Antz feels like... Antz is like a short story.
Yeah.
Where you're in the world, you're in and out. There isn't really a larger world at all here. It's just this one colony.
That's
and
true.
That's it. It's very kind of one location, a bunch of characters that you stay with.
Nah, well, there's also the Ants Paradise, which shows up for a little bit, and then they forget about it.
That's true, and I like that stuff, but, like, Antz is very low-key, whereas Bug's Life is, like, a big, kind of epic adventure with lots of locations, lots of characters.
Well, here's the thing. You say that, but there actually isn't. There isn't as many locations. It just feels like that because they've got better pacing. Most of the locations in this film is based around the anthill, right? There is the river around them, and there's across the river as well. But it feels like there's more locations because they've done it better. Because in Antz, you've got the anthill, the termite nest, and Anttopia or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Insectopia. I think it was called.
Yeah. Those are your sort of 3 locations, 4 even, because they get confused with a picnic.
Although, I think with Antz, it's because the animation isn't as good, so the locations aren't as vibrant, which makes you feel like you're just kind of in the same place constantly.
Oh, absolutely. But everything leads back to the anthill, and a lot of the scenes happen in the anthill. And it's just like, they're not very memorable, as you said. Whereas in A Bug's Life, the scenes where they're outside the colony are very memorable. And they don't spend a lot of time in the colony itself. They spend it outside the colony, just above the colony, around the colony. You see the tree that they're next to. You see the river that's nearby. It's like they move about a lot. It isn't the same set repeated, right? In Antz, they repeatedly go back to the underground area where they're mining. They go back to that place like 3 or 4 times during the film. And that is literally a tunnel of dirt.
Yes.
The actual inside of the colony, when you zoom around and look around, looks pretty good in Antz, I'd say. I like the design of the ant colony in Antz. But they only go there like once or twice. There's the bar scene. That was cool. But, like, in A Bug's Life, there's a lot of location. There's even, in Bug's Life, there's the locusts joint. There's the little hat that they're chilling in, you know? Mm-hmm. Almost in every scene, there's never the same location twice.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You get a lot of, even when it's the same location, there's, like, different angles. You got... you're doing different stuff. There's set pieces going around. There's the fucking carnival. Look, there's a lot of things. It's pretty good. It's very enjoyable.
For sure, I agree. And I think, like, plot-wise with Bug's Life as well, it feels more like a movie. There's a lot more going on.
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't go against eusocial ants. It's like, hey, that's their life. That's what they're trying to do. And then this ant is coming up with ideas to try and help the colony. His goal is to help the colony. They don't understand it, but his goal is still to be a eusocial bug. It doesn't have any confusing, like, individualism or anything in this. No, it's all about helping the colony as best you can.
Yeah, which I think is a better kind of through line, whereas Antz is kind of confused about exactly what it's trying to say.
It's extremely confused, whereas this has a clear goal. It's like, hey, I'm an ant. I gotta help the colony. How about I come up with all these wacky inventions to try and help my colony?
Yeah.
The colony is like, what the fuck are those? Get the fuck out of here, you dumb. And he's like, oh man, I was just trying to help. And then he does help, and then everybody's like, hey, man, those inventions, pretty good. And it's very clean, it's concise, it makes sense.
It works in every level.
Yeah, and it doesn't go against what ants inherently are. There are points in both these films, and I don't know if we have a category for this, but like love interest, relationships.
Oh yeah, we don't have that as a category. I can put that in.
I don't know if we need to, but I definitely wanted to mention it because both really have like weird human relationships.
With the princess of all people as well. They both have princesses in them.
Yeah, they both have princesses, and they both have relationship things happening with them. This could go into characters, I think, a little bit. But, like, they're very human relationships.
I think Bug's Life, yeah, it's a fun adventure that you go on. You meet some cool characters that we'll get to. I'm trying to get anything plot-wise. I think the threat in Bug's Life is better because in Antz it's like political. I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
Like, the threat in Antz is more like a military coup, which is a cool idea, but like, for a kid's movie.
It's an idea, but it doesn't make any fucking sense because they're ants. And like,
Exactly.
Why are they going along with this? And there's like a class division. There's this whole like class thing.
It's weird. Whereas like with Bug's Life, it's like there
is an antagonist and he's cool and like he makes sense.
He's the locust man and he's kind of scary and cool.
He also has a political thing because he talks about like they outnumber us 100-1. If they realize this at any point, they could take over, right? And that is actually a subtle, like, hey, like, worker class division thing. It's also in this movie, but it's so subtle and doesn't rub it in your fucking face that it like, you could go past it. And as a child, you would. But as an adult, you're like, oh shit, yeah, he's got a point.
Exactly. So I think Bug's Life plot-wise, it's not super high either. Like, the plot of both movies aren't, like, and also here's the thing with Bug's Life as well. While it's got a pretty good movie, and I watched it a lot as a kid, until, like, Cars 2, it was the worst Pixar movie.
Wow,
It
really?
was kind of like an average Pixar movie. All the other ones that they do, they're phenomenal. Not so much anymore, but, like, back then, they're all phenomenal, and Bug's Life was just kind of good. And then Cars 2 came out and it was terrible, so that became their worst one. But you know what I mean. Bug's Life, yeah, it's not up to the standard of Pixar, but it's good. It's got some good stuff in there.
I liked it. I'm a big fan. I was going to hit this with a big fat 4 because I was just... It's possible that by watching Antz first and then A Bug's Life, that has skewed my opinion slightly.
Oh, yeah. But that's the only way to watch it. I think that's the order I did it too.
Yeah. I feel like if I had done it in the other way round, I would be just really not liking Antz even more.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a 4, and then you can do what you want with that. You can bring it down to 0.5. I would not say no. Even lower if you wanted.
No, I think yeah, I could go 3.5. I think the plot in Bug's Life is pretty good, and I think it's one of the better points of that movie is like, there's always stuff happening and it's always kind of fun and there's different set pieces. You never get bored with Bug's Life until maybe the end, but that's just, it's not even that boring. It's just kind of a long action sequence.
Yeah. It's a long action sequence, and with you knowing what happened, that's probably not as great. I still really enjoyed A Bug's Life, and we'll get into it in a second, but I think... a big reason for that, and I'm going to mention it now, is because there was more than ants in the film.
Yeah, I agree.
Antz does live up to its name, being only ants.
And also, like, the problem is Antz, it looks brown and flat. It doesn't look very exciting.
No.
Whereas Bug's Life, you got heaps of different, there's so much, like, bug diversity going on. So many characters.
It is literally, one movie is called Antz, and only has ants, except for the big termite scene, which was pretty cool. And then A Bug's Life has bugs.
Exactly.
And all the bugs are pretty cool.
Yeehaw! Sally McSella here, back with another ad, and this is a really, really sad one, because over on Patreon, Sandro and Zach from Oldie but Goodie, they've been doing the Cage-a-rama Season 3. 3 months of nothing but Nicolas Cage movie reviews, and they're done! They finished it! The last review is out. It's on Michael Bay's The Rock. Here's a clip. I'm really sad. I mean, first impressions, Zach, it's Patreon, so just impressions. You've seen this before.
Yeah, because it isn't first impressions, because I've seen this before. I've seen this a few times, actually.
You've got it on DVD.
I do, somewhere. I don't even know where it is anymore, but I once had a copy of this on DVD that I bought from an op shop for like $2.
Yeah.
It was a great buy for $2.
That's pretty good, but was it just on its own, or was it with another movie?
No, I think there was another movie, but I can't remember what other movie.
Okay.
Oh, no, I got Highlander as well.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's a good double for boy Sean Connery.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
He's in Highlander, right?
I don't think so.
Oh. I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that sure does sound like a great episode, though. I'm over my little cry. I heard the clip there, and then I remembered that there's a huge back catalog of episodes on Patreon that I can go listen to right now if I want to listen to more content like that. So, patreon.com/Oldie Buddy Goodie Pod. Get those bonus episodes. All 6 Cage-A-Rama Season 3 episodes are out right now. And so are the first 2 so much. Also, patreon.com/Oldie Buddy Goodie Pod. You can get ad-free and early episodes too. So if you don't want to hear me crying next week, then go do that. All right, Zach, well, let's move on to the cast. Now, there is a separate category for the main character.
Oh, are we doing two different categories?
Yeah, because we have main character likability, which is specifically... Actually, we could do that first. Talk about the main characters, then talk about the supporting cast.
Oh my god. Okay, all right.
Because I think, like, you brought this up before we started recording, the main character likability scale for both these movies is interesting. Well, let's start with Antz. We've got the character of Zed, who...
Yep.
He's annoying. But is he annoying because of the voice actor?
Now, here's the thing. Before looking up this film, I hated this fucking character. After looking up who did the voice acting, I'm like, oh, thank goodness, I can hate this character.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The B-movie comparison keeps going. Because the fucking main character feels like Jerry fucking Seinfeld.
But worse.
Yeah.
Like, at least Seinfeld is... At least when Seinfeld's the main character in something, I'm like...
Actually, no. He feels like Rob Schneider.
In Antz, yeah.
That's what he really felt like. It felt like a Schneider role. Remember the fucking Schneider movie we did a little while ago? The fucking, what's his face?
Dredd,
yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of having Stallone as your main character, you had fucking Schneider as your main character.
I think, yeah, so the main character, Zed, he's played by Woody Allen, director Woody Allen.
Woof.
I think he's best known for directing and doing stand-up, not so much for his acting, but...
I think he's best known for the controversies.
Actually, yeah, no, he's best known for being a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's annoying. He's just kind of... And, like, he did a bunch of rewrites on this movie, too, to, like, fix up his dialogue and make it funnier. Which, to be fair, he gets a lot of pretty funny lines, but, like...
I found him very grating. I did not like him at all, actually. I liked most of Ant's characters. I did not like the main character.
I think he's really... Yeah, I don't like him either. And he's too human. Like, he's doing that thing where he's like... Well, I'm just a crazy guy. I'm doing improv. I'm talking like a person. I'm doing the things.
Yeah.
He feels like Justin Roiland, just improvising in a theater, making a script somehow worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look, and the rest of the film, it's not too bad. But just specifically his character, his plotline, he does nothing in the film. He does nothing. Everything that happens to him, not because of him. Mm-hmm. And that really annoyed me at the end. Because even his big victory thing, where they're all, like, celebrating him, he's meant to be this, like, everyday man. I don't know. His whole plotline is, like, he accidentally goes to war. He accidentally becomes a war hero. He accidentally kidnaps the princess.
Yep.
He accidentally discovers that they've betrayed they're gonna betray the ant colony and everything. Like, none of the stuff he does is on purpose.
Well, I mean, like, and even at the end, he doesn't save the day. Like,
No.
Gene Hackman plays the bad guy, and he's like, I'm gonna kill all the ants. He's not the one who saves the day, it's Christopher Walken.
Yeah, it's
As
Christopher who has, like, 0 film time in this.
Yeah.
Which is so bizarre.
He's the one who does stuff. So yeah, I agree. I think the main character in Antz is not super likable. I'm leaning towards like a 2. I don't think any lower.
He's meant to be an everyday person, like, and it's like, hey, look at this underdog ant. He thinks for himself, which is weird, but then they come to understand in other things. But it's this whole juxtaposition. There's 2 ants, in this colony that think for themselves. One of them is the bad guy. The other guy doesn't do anything, but ends up as the good guy in the end. And I feel like if you reverse the roles, I feel like our good guy would become the bad guy. Because when he becomes the war hero, he doesn't go, oh, no, that wasn't me, that was an accident sort of thing. He embraces it. He's like, oh, yeah, I am a war hero. I'm going to use this to my advantage.
And, like, if this wasn't a kid's movie, I'd be okay with that, because it would kind of be like the whole Dune thing where he's like, I'm just a guy, but everyone's oh my god, it's Z. He becomes like a war hero and like a revolutionary, except he's not actually doing anything.
The whole point of Dune is that the good guy isn't exactly a good guy, right? You know, that could be a point in your film, but there isn't the point in this film.
It isn't the point in this film because it's a kid's movie.
Well, or it shouldn't be a point in this film because it's a kid's movie. I agree. Two. I'm thinking the two.
But saying that, I don't think the main character in Bug's Life is any better.
I liked him a lot more because he wasn't Z. Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. He doesn't mope about and be a little shit like fucking Z.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Z is he's like, I don't want to work because I don't want to work. Whereas in Bug's Life, Flick is like, I don't want to work because I've got ideas for stuff that I want to invent.
Exactly. He tries to help, unlike Z, who doesn't do anything to help the colony.
Yeah.
At least we have a guy who's trying to help. He actually has good ideas. He's quite smart. He comes up with inventions that are helpful. And it's just the other bugs don't understand that yet, so they shun him. And that's not his fault. Whereas Z mopes about like a dickhead, and so no one likes him, because he's a mopey dickhead.
For real. However, with Bug's Life, you were saying earlier that in Antz, he doesn't do anything to change what happens.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same in Bug's Life. Like, Flick doesn't really... He gets people to come and help, but he's not really helping. He doesn't... Everything that happens in the movie is...
Yeah, but he's trying... And I would like to say the thought counts, you know?
Yeah, but, like, not to the level of, like, he becomes their hero and they're all like, yay, it's Flick, he saved the colony. I'm like, he didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't really.
I felt like he deserved more heroism than Z. And that's because he comes up with the idea of this bird, right? He comes up with these ideas. And then they come together and teamwork them to make them happen, right? And that's a good way of doing a eusocial sort of fix to these sort of problems, right?
Yeah, it's like teamwork and stuff, for sure.
Yeah. He's an idea man. He's a smart boy, but he's also a little goofball. And you know what? He's a lot more likable, I would say, in that aspect. I think you're right in the fact that maybe he doesn't deserve to be a hero, but
no.
At the end there, he does do something to deserve it, right? He stands up to Hopper. He tricks Hopper. He gets Hopper killed.
Yeah.
In a very, like...
Pretty dark little moment there at the end.
Yeah, in a classic, like, old Disney, like, Tarzan level, like, brutal death scene for their villains, which I'm a big fan of. That's probably one of my number one tropes for, like, old Disney is brutal deaths for villains.
Yeah. I also don't think he's more likable than Zed, but that's just purely down to the person who plays him, I think, which is Dave Foley, who is a comedian. He's a member of Kids in the Hall or whatever. He's like he does stuff. Anyway, he's fine.
He's pretty good.
He's not annoying, which is...
Yeah. Which is a number one. Honestly, again, I liked it a lot because the character actually tried to do something. There's a problem, and he went out and he tried to fix it. Sure.
He tried.
He doesn't, in the end, do a lot of the fixing, right? He gets a lot of help here and there, but he's at least trying and doing something, whereas he's like, oh man, it's so unfair, oh dear, all these things bad are happening to me, I'm gonna do nothing about it, though. At least when Flick is moping about, he's actually trying to do something. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think it's too high. I think I'm going to give Bug's Life a 3.
I'll give it a 3.5 then.
Wow.
I'm gonna or a 4, you know? I want to raise that up to a 3.5.
Alright, 3.5.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the rest of the cast, though. Rest of the cast for Antz, heading back to Antz. We got a whole fucking stacked cast right here. Princess Bala, should have been the main character.
Yeah, any of the other bugs should have been the main character in Antz. Literally any of them I liked. I actually liked a lot of the characters in Antz. I even liked the Sylvester Stallone ant.
I like Sylvester. He's funny in this.
He's actually like Kronk levels. Like, he was giving me Kronk vibes.
I wrote that down somewhere. Where is it? I wrote down a note where I was like, Stallone is Lightyear and Kronk mixed together.
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear and Kronk. But yeah, that's a good take.
Like, I was like Kronk, my partner was like Lightyear, and I was like, yeah, he's like a mixture between the two. I think he's a good voice actor in this. I am surprised that I like Stallone in this movie.
We all know good old Sandy loves to shit on Stallone.
It's true.
And who wouldn't? But Stallone's pretty great at it. I loved his character. I was like, he's a good himbo, you know? He's helping out where he can, and he's a big, strong boy.
I will say, though, if you look at the voice cast and, like, the romances in Antz, it is fucking weird. So, Woody Allen and Sharon Stone.
Yep.
What? And then you've got Sylvester Stallone and Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
What's going on here?
It's a bit weird. And that's why I wanted to add, like, relationships as a category. Because it's weird, but I feel like we've already got enough categories. But their relationships, it's funny because you got the Sylvester Stallone Ant who does his friend a solid because he's a good guy and he swaps with him, even though it could get him in huge trouble.
Yeah,
and then he has a good fun time mining away because he's a big, strong soldier ant.
Yeah.
Also, their weird class system doesn't make as much sense because you've got these big, strong, fucking soldier ants.
Yes.
But then he goes into the mine and is like, actually, I can do a lot of mining because I'm really big and strong. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Why don't they have that?
I don't know. And also, like, what's the difference between... Because we see all of the ants getting born.
Yes.
And then the queen is like, you're going to be a soldier ant. You're going to be a worker ant. But then they all look different once they grow up. And I don't...
It doesn't make any sense, right? Because the whole point of that scene is like, at birth, they decide what you do, so you don't get a choice later on in life.
Yeah.
But when you grow up, they actually physically look different. So by choosing that, do they make them grow different? Is it like a queen jelly sort of thing, where if you feed it to one ant, it will grow differently? It's very bizarre, and they don't explain it, and it doesn't make sense for ants.
And then we've got the scene where Zed joins the army. And, he teams up with Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon. He's pretty fucking cool.
Who is awesome.
He's great in this
fucking
movie.
film. He was the funniest character. I actually laughed quite a bit at his lines because they were really funny. I was like, holy shit, this guy's great.
But Danny Glover doesn't notice that Woody Allen is a worker ant. He's just like, oh my god, you're a new soldier ant. So do the ants actually look like that, or is that just for the purpose of the movie? Because in the world of Antz, no one talks about how different the workers and the soldiers look. I don't understand the rules.
Here's the thing, right? I'm gonna get into ants facts again, because ants don't actually recognize other ants by sight. They recognize them by smell. And so there are a couple of ants that do a sneaky thing where they steal babies from other ants.
Yeah.
And they hide them in their colony, and then they, like, pheromone them up. So those ants' babies that they've stolen think they're part of the colony that they got stolen into. So then they help the colony that stole them. Like, that's a thing that happens in real life. So in real life, ants' eyesight is bad.
Yeah.
And they recognize each other from smell, which could explain some of these things. I'm not going to give this movie that credit. I'm just going to say old soldier ant was old, and he has bad eyesight. But also, they never acknowledge the weird, like, difference in sizes of the ants. It's only for, like, visual clarity of the viewer.
And also, I guess that Stallone's good at mining because he's a big ant.
But it doesn't make sense for this sort of class divide sort of thing, because in real life, the big ants that fight off... Because there is that thing in colonies where you've got the smaller worker ants and the larger, like, army ants, right?
Yeah.
But the army ants aren't good at digging. That's their whole point, is that they're better for fighting and aren't good at digging. But in this movie, he's also good at digging. So, like, it's very confusing.
Yeah, I agree. I think cast... Oh, yeah, and we should mention my favorite character is Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin, who play the Wasps.
Yeah.
They are... The joke is... that they are wasps. And by wasps, I don't mean the animal wasps, which they are.
Yeah.
But they're also white Anglo-Saxon Protestant wasps, cliche, which is the thing for what, which is a very funny joke. They're
is.
like, I'm a British wasp, but I don't understand why anyone struggles for anything. And I was like, this is so funny.
It is. It's very good. But then she's like, hey, we should help the less fortunate, like, in front of the other ants. It was very funny because they were, like, super shitting on the ants, but, like, trying to be nice to them.
Well, because they're wasps.
Yeah, it was very funny. It was a great scene. Then she dies horribly. And I'm like, what the fuck is with this movie? Very dark. Do we have jokes as a category?
We got adult jokes as a category.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
And we get some other, like, some drunk bugs, like high bugs as well later on and stuff. There's some fun other characters, but we don't get much time with them.
I think they're... Was that in both the movies? There was a bar in both the movies.
There's a bar in both. In Antz, they're obviously stoned. In Bug's Life, they're just at a bar.
I think they're drunk. Yeah, no, we see a mosquito, like, slurp up a drop of blood.
Yeah.
As a, what was it, a Bloody Mary? Which was very, I was like, ha, I get it, because blood.
I think, Antz, like a 3. It's down the middle for me, in terms of the cast.
I was going to give it a 4.
A 4?
I was going to give it a 4. I liked the characters in Antz.
Okay.
I had no problem with the character. Even the military guy, like, the plot doesn't make any sense, but I liked the evil guy.
I like how evil he is. He's gonna kill all the worker ants for no reason.
Why? Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. I get it. He wants to be in charge, and so he's getting his loyal soldier ants to follow him. But, like, you need the worker ants. Just, like, take over. You're all bigger than them.
All right, the other supporting cast in Bug's Life. If you like Princess Bala from Antz, you're definitely gonna like Princess Ada from Bug's Life.
Yep. Are they a different character or the same?
They're pretty much the same character, I think, honestly. Okay, so Bug's Life, he goes to the circus. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Is with Bug's Life, you've got the circus are also a main character.
Yeah. You've got a lot of characters there.
There's so many.
And they're great. I like all the characters.
Aside from the racism that was kind of thrown in here and there, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
Aside from that.
No, but Sandro, I can't believe you haven't said it yet. A Bug's Life is an LGBT icon.
No, why do you say that?
Where they have the ladybug.
Oh, the ladybug.
But he's a man bug, but everyone treats him as a lady, and he learns to embrace his feminine side.
I liked the trans non-binary icon that is the ladybug. That was a very funny joke.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Because he's a ladybug, so everyone presumes he's a lady. But of course, ladybugs would have males.
The thing with Bug's Life, and I'll mention this now, is the scale is off. The scale is off. The ants are too big. The stick insects, how is a ladybug smaller than an ant? That doesn't make any sense.
No,
it'd be the other way around.
Happens. Sometimes you get some big ants, like a bull ant. Bull ant would be bigger than a ladybug.
Look at Flick and tell me he's a bull ant. I disagree.
Have you seen ladybugs? They're quite fucking small. I disagree with you, sir.
And then you got, like, stick insects and praying mantises. They'd be like 1,000 times larger than an ant.
Well, it depends on the stick insect. Maybe he's a baby one. Who knows? But
it could be baby.
The stick insect might be. There is definitely a size, like, you could argue that. The queen ant has a baby aphid, or a little aphid-like dog thing. That is like the size of a dog to us, right?
It's the size of a dog to us, yeah.
And ladybugs eat those.
Yes.
Which doesn't come up in this movie, which is fine. But I feel like that ladybug could have eaten that dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe.
So for sizes, there is a little disparity, but I think it's not too bad. I think they do sizes pretty well, because they've also got, like, the big bugs. You've got the rhino beetle, who's bigger than everyone, right? That's this whole thing, right?
But isn't, like, 100 times bigger than everyone.
Yeah.
Which is what it would be like, but, you know.
I think sizes came into consideration, but they definitely did, like, medium everything, so they're, like, relatively.
Yeah, they medium all of the bugs, which, like, compared to bugs, not compared to Bug's Life, compared to ants. In Antz, I mean, you've only really got ants, and they're all kind of the same size. And then you got the termites, And, like, the wasps are significantly larger than the ants.
That's true.
And I like that level of scale. However, saying that, in Bug's Life, the scale for them doing human stuff, like the person walking, that becomes an action sequence, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Or was that an Antz?
That was an Antz.
That was an Antz. Yeah, actually, never mind me. I'm getting them confused because they're the same movie.
No, but they had a bird.
Yeah, birds in Bug's Life. That's right.
They had a bird who was a little Tweety bird, but he's giant for them, you know.
You know what? Thinking about it, I think the scale's better in Ants across the board.
Yeah, but that's because it's mostly just ants.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. The scales of the ants don't make sense. We just talked about that
That's
for, like,
true.
10 minutes.
But, I mean, like, the scale with other bugs and then the scale with, like, human stuff. Even, like, I fucking love the scene with the magnifying glass.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I love that scene so much. I think it's hilarious.
It is pretty funny.
It's like an action scene where there's, like, a giant laser chasing the ants because some kid's got a magnifying glass and is trying to kill them.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic idea.
It's pretty great.
But, yeah, I think, like, Bug's Life... The scale is just a little bit off, but I also don't care.
Yeah.
I also don't care.
But they go into the city and they have, like, cans as the bar.
Yeah.
And you've got, like, the bus beetle that was traveling people. There was a lot of quick jokes in the city because the city life, you know, sort of thing. And he's like a bit of a country bumpkin.
Yeah.
You know?
I liked how we get a city in both movies.
Yes.
And I like how in Ants it's all product placement for Pepsi and Mountain Dew.
Yep.
And then in The Bug's Life, there's no product placement. I thought that was pretty good.
Yep. It's just a proper city. No, in Antz, it isn't really a city even. It's just like...
It's just a picnic, isn't it?
Yeah. Well... The true place is like the trash area.
Yeah, the trash bin.
And there's just a lot of people eating trash. Whereas the city one is like it's a bustling city, you know, and there's streets, there's fucking light bugs who do the traffic lights, you know?
And I like as well how in Ants, we're in the ant world, and then at the end we zoom out and we see that it was just like a tiny section in Central Park. Whereas in Bug's Life, I like how we start and we see the world and then we zoom in. I liked that. I thought that was cool. I like how they're a little bit different, and I think I prefer Bug's Life and how they did it with Bug's Life, because you see locations that you'll see again. Anyway, the cast for Bug's Life, they're all pretty fun. I like them.
Yeah, the cast for Bug's Life is really good. I like all the circus ones. They all have, like, everyone seems to have a character, and there's a lot of characters in a Bug's Life.
So many characters in Bug's Life.
Yeah, but I think they're all likable, and they all sort of follow their own little plot lines, and they all have their own little personalities.
Yeah.
I like Dot. Dot was very cute.
Dot is played by Hayden Panettiere when she was a kid. And also Ashley Tisdale, who is Sharpay from High School Musical, is also in this as a kid, which I just find very funny.
That's pretty great. And I hate to say it, but Kevin Spacey as Hopper was pretty good.
He's very good.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's an amazing actor. Maybe not an amazing person.
No, he sucks.
Yeah. But he is a really good actor, and Hopper is a pretty intimidating villain, right?
I like Hopper a lot, yeah.
And his plot line, I even liked his brother.
The dumb one?
Yeah, the dumb one,
Yeah,
because
he's
at the
funny.
end, he gets a wrap-up to his story. I mean, I don't know why I'm not spoiling it. We're in the spoiler section. He gets, like, part of the circus. He gets to join the circus, even though he was part of the evil group. And it's like, oh, that's nice. I'm glad he got a happy ending, because he was actually pretty cool the whole film.
I think the only one that I don't like, and I didn't like him as a kid because the joke isn't funny, but the caterpillar is just...
Oh, yeah.
It's just, he's fat. That's the joke.
Yeah. He eats a lot. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. He doesn't really...
I think the voice actor is really good, and I like the idea of the character, but they don't do anything beyond the fact that he's fat.
Yeah. They even have a joke at the end when he turns into a butterfly, but he's still just fat.
I can fly. I'm hello, German. That's Russian. I don't know. I can't do the voice.
But the joke is that he just looks exactly the same, but he has a tiny pair of wings, and it's oh, come on, you could have, come on.
But I think for the cast, it gets a so solid, maybe 4. I could even go 4.5, honestly.
Ooh.
Because it's just a fun group of characters. And I'm annoyed we didn't get a sequel, because I want more with these people.
Yeah. I'll meet you. 4.5. Let's do it. Bam.
All right.
Characters were good.
Well, we've talked about some of the cast, and you did just mention Kevin Spacey, which means that we now can talk about this in both movies. It's time to rate this movie on the level of this hasn't aged well, with 0 being, this is aged terribly, and 5 being, this is aged pretty well. Obviously, with Antz, you've got Woody Allen.
That's not great. Yikes.
You've got Woody Allen, and he does a lot of adult jokes in this movie.
There is a lot of adult jokes, but that's a different category, Sanjay.
That is a different category. But yeah, outside of Woody Allen, I don't think there's anything in Antz content-wise that hasn't aged well. Maybe the fact that the Antz want to do a massive genocide, but, you know.
Yeah, apart from the weird, like, fascist, genocidal class division plotline, and the super ugly visuals.
For sure.
And the fact that Woody Allen is the main character.
Yeah.
Apart from all that. So what are we rating this? Is higher, it's aged better?
It's aged, yeah. If it gets a 0...
It's aged
really badly. If it gets a 5, it's aged pretty well. I think, yeah, the problem with Antz is it's a Woody Allen movie, and...
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies that Woody Allen has made that I wanted to watch until I then found out everything about Woody Allen and went, actually, I don't want to watch these anymore.
Yeah.
So he is a big, I don't want to watch it for me. When he's involved in something, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. So I think it's aged pretty poorly because he's the main character.
Ooh, 2? You think it a 2?
Yeah, it's aged about a 2. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. It's definitely aged poorly, but not too poorly.
Yeah. Moving over to Bug's Life, Kevin Spacey is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though.
Oh.
I raise you this.
Yep.
Woody Allen is a bad guy, and he's the main character who you're meant to root for. However, in Bug's Life, Kevin Spacey, like most movies that he's in, he plays the bad guy. So you're meant to hate him. And knowing that it's Kevin Spacey just makes you hate him even more.
It's true. That's a funny thing you bring up there, because Woody Allen is the main character. You're not supposed to hate him.
You're not supposed to hate him.
But I do.
Yeah.
Whereas Hopper is the bad guy, and you're supposed to hate him. And I do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, aged better? Has it improved over time?
Has it improved? It's definitely not improved.
No,
he's still in this, and he's...
No, the fact that he's in this is bad.
It's also directed by John Lasseter, who sucks.
Oh, yeah? What's he done?
Oh, he, assaulted everyone at Pixar.
Oh,
He's bad.
Oh.
I think he was involved in every Pixar movie until Toy Story 4?
Wow.
He was there for a very long time.
Wow. That is unfortunate.
But so he's obviously a big part of Pixar, but whenever I see his name, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But also, it's pretty hard to find a Pixar movie that he's not involved in, and they're all pretty good, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, you just kind of have to gloss over it, but it does kind of suck. I think that definitely has aged it poorly, because that's...
The thing with Bug's Life, though, is that there is content in the movie of Bug's Life that hasn't aged well. For example...
Okay.
And I will have to say a word. A character's called Gypsy.
Uh-huh.
Which, you can't do that.
Ooh, that's no good.
Because that is, that's essentially a slur. It's like calling a character the F slur. And that's their name. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're going. Yeah. So that has definitely aged a bit.
The praying mantis puts on a turban and does accents. That's not particularly good.
It's definitely aged poorly in those aspects.
The fat jokes, all the fat jokes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Particularly for a kids' movie.
Yeah, I think they've definitely got a lot of old tropes.
Yeah.
That have just been these weren't great tropes, were they? And everyone's like, nah, it's not great. I agree, especially with the fat one.
Yeah.
You know, that was can we... Yeah, let's not do that.
But then we do also have the ladybug, which is kind of... That's aged pretty well, actually.
Which is surprising. You'd think a joke like that would age really poorly.
Yeah.
But it's actually kind of okay, because they're all pretty positive about it.
Yeah.
You know? Which is surprising. I was prepared as soon as that happened in the movie. I was going, ooh, that's going to be bad.
We got some trans jokes in here, but then it's handled pretty well.
It's actually okay. Yeah. So that brings up maybe a 3.
A 3?
A 3?
I think a 3. Oh, we do have a character in this movie called P.T. Flea, which is a reference to P.T. Barnum, and P.T. Barnum sucks. I hate that guy.
Anyway, I'm going with a 3.
That's a 3. That doesn't change anything. Cool. All right, next category is animation. Animation of ants. Oh boy.
Ooh.
It's fine. It looks okay.
Yeah. It's definitely does show its age a bit, and it is, as we say, a bit rushed.
Yeah.
Because everything's a bit, I don't know, everything's a little bit uncanny.
That was the first thought I had when I saw
Woody
Allen in the movie. I'm like, it's so weird.
It has that classic, like, old animation uncanniness. Because
Yeah.
a lot, like, animation nowadays has hours and hours of processing to, like, polish it up and make it look all nice, you know?
Yeah, this looks very unpolished.
Yeah. It looks very rough, very gritty. Obviously, there's a lot of dirt.
Yeah.
In the backgrounds, which is just dirt, and it's not very pretty. It's very... It has a color palette, and it's like browns and reds.
Brown, dark blue, red, yeah. And also, like, the ants, their faces are fucked, and I don't like it.
Yeah. We had to bring it up at some point. Their faces are human faces on ants, and it's weird.
The teeth are horrifying. Why do they have... why is there that much... Now, the ants in Bug's Life also have teeth, but you can't see each individual tooth in Bug's Life. In ants, you can, and I don't like it.
And you know what? Just because Sandro doesn't like it, it's going in here.
Yeah.
It's scientifically don't like it.
But saying that, compared to other, like, animated... Like, even the Final Fantasy movie, which came out 3 years after this movie, like, as far as an animated movie from the 90s goes, it looks better than Shrek, kinda.
Whoa.
Or it's on par with Shrek.
On par
maybe.
with Shrek. I would go on par. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking digs at my boy Shrek. You can't do that to me. But honestly, it doesn't look too bad.
It looks fine, but it's very rough around the edges.
Yeah.
The animation in terms of, like, the movements is pretty good, though.
Oh, yeah. I don't think... and, like, they had some good shots, especially with the, as you said, the human things, with the legs coming down. There's, like, giant legs and other things.
It's really
there's
cool.
Some good shots in this film.
There's a lot of, like, obvious copy-pasting when there's groups of ants. In Bug's Life, when there's groups of ants, they're kind of, like, moving at different speeds, or they're starting to move at different points, so the group shots don't look as obviously copy-paste as they do in Ants. But, you know, it's just a small thing to bring up. I think it's 2.5, right down the middle for Ants.
Yeah, I was honestly going to give it a 3.
Yeah, okay.
I was going to give it a 3. Just the benefit of time, because obviously we've just done the like age poorly sort of thing, which I feel like that falls into more of this. At the time, I think this would have looked fine. Absolutely
I agree.
Fine.
I think it looks pretty passable.
The directing choices of like making them look really weirdly human were bad choices.
Yeah.
But I still think it looks okay.
Okay, moving over to Bug's Life. Obviously, it's Pixar.
Yeah.
Now, my thing with Pixar has always been, whenever I watch the first Toy Story movie, my thing with Pixar has always been, the toys look fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
Incredible.
Yep.
The detail, the movement, so good. The humans look like shit. In specifically the first one. In the second one, they kind of ironed it out. In the
second one, they fixed it up.
Yeah. But in the first one, the humans look bad. That animation has not aged well. In Bug's Life,
they look uncanny.
Yeah. In Bug's Life, there's none of that. Everything looks really good because it's all bugs.
Oh, yeah.
They're all bugs.
There's no humans.
No. My only issue with the animation in Bug's Life is there's like weird creases on the ants' faces.
Oh, yeah.
That is a weird choice and kind of looks like they're toys a little bit. It kind of looks like Illumination-ish. Like, I'm like, these are just toys.
That's absolutely a choice they'd made deliberately so that when you bought the toy, they would look at it the same, that's for sales,
That's probably a good point.
In fact, I'm going to give them plus points for that, because that's smart. That's big brain.
There's one thing, and I think this might just be because I know how the cookie is made, but
oh, yeah?
There's many moments where I could tell that it was just the animated animal over, like, kind of dragged onto a background.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
It didn't look super meshed all the time. Like, I'm thinking, like, some of the parts with the bird sequence, when they're standing on the lake and stuff, the background and, like, the bug don't look super meshed, which I think it's not really an issue. Like, again, that's something that they figured out immediately in Toy Story 2. Like, it took them a little bit to figure out that technology. And, like, you know, this movie looks really good. So I think 4.5, it's Pixar. So it's the best animation that you could have gotten at the time.
Yeah, I think this movie looks really good. There's nothing much more I could have asked for this film. Like, a little bit of polish on the backgrounds, maybe. But aside from that, I'm being very nitpicky. Like, if this movie came out now, I would be nitpicky about the background and other things. But other than that, I think the characters look great. I didn't get disgusted looking at most of the characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I give it around a 4.5. I'll give it 4.5. I like the city scene. The city scene was really well animated, so I'll give it that.
And I should mention this as well. It's something my partner knows, actually, particularly with the grasshoppers. They are animated to, like, their frames are different to the ants. The grasshoppers are like, they've got less frames, so they look a bit more twitchy. Which was really cool. They only do that for the grasshoppers. They don't do that for any of the other bugs, or maybe the stick insect as well. But I was like, that's really cool. And that's like stuff that we see in like Spider-Verse nowadays, where like every character is a different style of animation, a different number of frames. So it was cool to see that back in the 90s. I was like, fuck yeah, that's really cool.
Look, the attention to detail on the grasshoppers, you look that up, it's like they've got individual little spikes all over their bodies and mottled color. It's really detailed. The grasshopper particularly, I just looked up a picture. He looks amazing.
He does.
He would come out now and I'd be like, that's a well-animated grasshopper. So, you know what? I'm going 4.5. I'm going 4.5 as well. This looks awesome.
I think 4.5. And, like, this looks better than some of Pixar's most recent efforts, too.
Oh, absolutely.
I haven't seen a Pixar movie since Turning Red, which I loved.
Yep.
I love Turning Red, but I haven't seen Lightyear or Elemental or Inside Out 2 yet. But, like, their animation has kind of gotten fine. It's kind of average now. And, like, this movie is really cool, and it looks really good. So, anyway, whatever. I don't really have a point. I just wanted to bring up recent Pixar movies and how they're kind of disappointing, actually.
Yeah. No, it checks out. 4.5.
4.5. Next category, family friendliness.
Ooh, one of these is not like the other.
Which I think leans into adult jokes, so maybe we should just combine these two categories, because they're pretty much the same thing.
Yes, but the problem is, jokes is its own sort of category, and adult jokes was kind of be like the joke category. So do we want to do adult theming and jokes as the two categories?
Yeah, I like this.
So we got adult themes,
which I guess is just like family friendliness, like a scale of family friendliness, yeah.
Family friendliness, adult themes / adult themes, yeah.
All right, so for the family friendliness scale then, for Antz, Woody Allen has a line in this movie.
All right, I'm ready for it. Please do tell.
He's talking to Princess Bala, I think is the one in Antz, and he's like,
yep.
Oh my god, it's such a shame that you don't like me. You know, I was gonna let you become part of my erotic fantasies. And I was like, I was immediately taken aback.
What did we rate that one? A 2 for A.G. Pauly? That's a 1 now.
I'm like, what a weird line to put in a kid's movie. Not only that.
That is a weird line. That's just a weird line, full stop, in the movie.
Yes.
Like, someone goes up to you and says that. That's a fucking weird thing to say.
Exactly.
How is this our main character in the fucking film?
Our main character is saying that.
He's so unlikable.
Also, in this movie, you know, for family friendliness, it's fine for like a PG movie, but for something like Antz, there's a scene where some ants are getting high around a campfire, and one of them's eating something, and it's like, man, this tastes like crap. And then a fly's like, hey, let me have some of that. This is some good crap. Which is fine, but again, the word
I
crap
think that's funny.
In a kid's movie, like this level of kid's movie, I'm like, it feels a little bit...
Yeah, okay, that might hurt the family friendliness level. Yeah,
maybe a little bit.
It's not the worst thing in this film, but that line's also funny because he's a fly. He eats.
It's a very good joke.
Sugar honey iced tea.
It's a great joke, but I'm also like, you know, again, we're going up against a Pixar movie, which is clean.
Yeah.
Disney, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not much there to really pick apart. Whereas with Antz, they go on a little bit sausage party. There's a line in this movie where I think it's Jennifer Lopez's character.
It does have a lot of adult jokes.
It does.
And look, I would say before you say this, I say Incredibles also has quite a few adult jokes,
but they're hidden and go over the heads of kids.
Yeah. Well, and so I'm saying it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
That a animated movie has adult jokes, because it has something for the adults that take their kids to the movies, and then we can all silently chuckle and go, haha, the kids don't get it, right?
Yeah. In this movie, it's not that they don't get it, it's that it's so explicit what they're saying.
Yeah, it's a bit
not
inappropriate.
At all.
Yeah.
But there's a line where I think Jennifer Lopez is like complaining about something, and Woody Allen's like, "Oh my god, what are you bitching about?" And I was like, "What? This is a kids movie?"
Whoa! You can't say that.
I'm like,
you can't say
that's
that.
fine in like a night at the museum, in a PG, more of a family movie, but in an animated kids movie. And when I say kids, I mean your core demographic is kids. It's to sell toys.
Yeah.
And it's for kids to watch this by themselves.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is there's a lot in this movie that I think is a little bit not family friendly, but I do think it adds to it, and I think it's very funny, and it makes this movie a weird anomaly where it's a kids movie where Woody Allen talks about his erotic fantasies.
Yep. And then they go to war and his friend gets decapitated.
Yeah, exactly. That's not very family friendly, is it?
We have a war scene where you see people melted by acid.
Yep.
What?
Yep. We have a constant thing in the threat in this movie is Gene Hackman is a Nazi ant and he's going to kill everyone.
Yeah, look, we've avoided saying it this whole time, but he is just a Nazi. He is just, yeah.
I don't know, on a family friendliness now, I watched this as a kid, and even as a kid, I felt like I was getting away with something watching this one. That's why I like this movie, because I was like, this movie is not like other kids' movies. This is fucking wild, man. We've got ants getting high around a campfire.
Yeah, look, honestly, yeah. All right, low is adult, high is good kids film. This is definitely getting, like, I'm thinking a 1.
I think a 1 on the family friendliness scale.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. Look, it's crossing the line. It isn't crossing it too badly, but it's definitely crossing the line. What about A Bug's Life?
What about A Bug's Life, Zach? How family friendly is A Bug's Life?
It's pretty family friendly. We do see the grasshopper brutal death scene, which is tradition at Disney films, where you've got, the bird, like, it's funny because he gets eaten by the bird babies, so he gets, like, ripped apart. But you don't see it. We don't see a grasshopper decapitated or anything,
Yeah.
There's this joke where a guy, like, puts raspberry jam on his eye and says, "My eye!" Which is funny. I guess that's kind of adult. I don't know. There's like drinking at the bar. There's a bar scene.
There is a bar scene, but it's not too it's not too bad.
It's played up. Yeah. There's like a mosquito. He drinks like a Bloody Mary, which is quite funny. I like that joke.
That's kind of like that would go over a kid's head, I think. Maybe.
Look, Hopper's evil. He's planning on squishing some bugs. He kills some grasshoppers on screen. That's pretty dark. There's some dark themes. But I think it's still just it's like dark moments in a kid's film, not adult jokes in a kid's film. You know what I mean?
I think like on the family friendliness scale, it's like this is a family friendly movie, and there's not really anything in here that doesn't make it family friendly. Yeah,
it is a very family friendly movie. I can't think of anything.
I'm like, even like compared to other Pixar movies, like Finding Nemo is scary for kids. This one is like, it's not too bad.
I didn't mention this in characters, and I was supposed to, but like the romance between the main character and the princess felt very deserved in this film.
In Bug's Life?
Yeah, in A Bug's Life. It was better than Antz, I will say, because it felt like they had a build-up to it, and like the character begins to like to, whereas in the other one, they actually just hate each other and shouldn't get along at all.
Yeah, in Antz, it's like enemies to lovers, but in a weird way that doesn't make sense, and why is it in a kid's movie?
In a weird way that doesn't make any sense, because she comes down and like seduces him first.
Yeah, she like cosplays poverty in a bar.
Like, it's like a sex thing, where you go and like bang someone at a bar and ghost them. Like, it's very adult.
Yeah, pretty much. I think in Bug's Life it would have been better if they were just friends, though. Like, I don't think they need to be in love in
but
Bug's Life.
That's because it's like a trope, and it's like really overdone now, whereas back then maybe it's not as much, I was fine with it, but yeah, I see what you mean.
You know what? I think with A Bug's Life as well, particularly with the Ladybug character actually being kind of diverse and it's kind of aged well, I think that adds to the family friendliness. Because again, just be like, hey, that's a person, and that's good.
Yep.
I think that's good.
I literally cannot think of anything adult in this. So, like,
I think it gets a 4.5.
4.5, yeah. I was going to even say 5 out of 5.
I think 5 out of 5 is good, yeah.
5 out of 5 family friendliness. Boom.
The new Boost Mobile network is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for life.
That sounds like a threat.
Then how do you think we should say it?
Unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for the rest of your life?
I don't know.
Until your ultimate demise.
What if we just say forever?
Okay.
$25 a month, forever.
Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile forever.
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
When you walk through an art museum, what happens?
You see some interesting things, you see some not so interesting things, and if you're like me at all, you're probably a little bit sleepy.
Well, grab a cafecito and listen up. It's Art Slice, a palatable serving of art history.
I'm Russell Shoemaker.
I'm Stephanie Dueñas. We are not your daddy's art history podcast. We are both artists, so we look at art history through that perspective. We cover the artists you know and those that have been ignored for so many different reasons.
We look at the context of the time, we compare it to today.
We don't dumb anything down, but, and this is a big but,
Hey-o.
we like to have a good time, okay? Nos gusta to goof around, all right? We have hungry pantry moms that might startle you. It's a long story.
We feed them art materials. Art is just a visual language, so in order for us to interpret what we think it's saying, we hijack the work.
Right. How do you like that for an art heist?
Exactly. And ultimately, we decide if it belongs in our Art Slice Museum on top of the Art Slice Hilltop.
So if this all sounds good to you, join us on Art Slice, a palatable serving of art history.
All right, jokes. We'll do jokes.
We'll do jokes.
And we've already kind of mentioned all of them.
Yeah, we've got over them. Because both movies have a lot of jokes, you know? That's the whole point, you know? But, like, as we said, a lot of adult jokes.
A lot of adult jokes.
In Antz. To be fair, I laughed at a lot of the jokes in Antz.
I think Antz is very... Unless it's Woody Allen doing improv.
Yeah.
And even then, he can be funny.
Yeah. I don't know. I did not like his character. I was not laughing at him a lot.
It's kind of like a Justin Roiland situation where, like, with Woody Allen, I feel like if I watched this when, I guess, before we knew that he was a big old creep, I would probably have been like, oh my god, he's so funny. He's doing so much funny improv. What a great voice actor. But it's kind of like with Justin Roiland now. Whenever I watch anything that he's involved with, that he's always going on and on about, just like weird predatory sex jokes. And you're like, but hang on, you do that in real life though.
Yeah.
So actually now I don't like this actually.
Yeah, it's bad. It is bad.
To be like, Morty, you gotta suck my dick, Morty.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't like this now.
Ooh, it's bad.
Why are you so focused on kids doing stuff to adults, Justin Roiland? Is it because you're a weirdo? It is because he's a weirdo.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. It hurts. Oh, God. Ignoring Woody Allen's jokes, though, it's a pretty funny movie. I like Sylvester Stallone, goofing around as a big himbo, you know.
As Kronk, he's great.
Yeah, he's great. I liked the fucking Wasps. That was a hilarious joke.
Funny.
That was really funny.
I liked the Sergeant. He's great, obviously. He's very funny.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about the fucking in Antz. Literally part of the entire plot is Christopher Walken is Colonel Cutter.
Yeah.
Who's like in the film?
Kinda.
But he doesn't get a lot of lines in the film. No, but like in a lot of the military scenes, he's just in the background.
Yeah.
And he's like referred to by the bad guy, but he doesn't actually do much in the film. He like fetches the princess at one point, and then he kind of saves the day at the end. That's it. Those are his like 2 scenes in the film. But he's like an integral part. It's so weird.
Well, I think because they couldn't afford him for that long.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
I feel like he's the bigger star in the movie. In terms of, like, he's the one who would be like, I'm only doing a day.
Yeah.
And you give me $1 million. Like, that's, you know.
Oh, absolutely. For sure. No, that's the reason why. but it's still a little jarring.
I think Antz is it's not as funny as the B movie.
Ooh, that's a bold take.
Because the B movie, and like, I watched Seinfeld's most recent movie, which was about Pop-Tarts, and I thought that was very funny as well.
Oh, there you go.
And it's written by the same people who write the B movie. I like their sense of humor. It's just absurd nonsense.
Yeah.
And I like it.
You're into those anti-woke jokes. I understand, you know.
You just can't say anything anymore.
I get it. That's your sort of shtick. Yeah. And look, I'd need to watch the B movie again. I need to compare it. But I think I like the B movie more than Antz. But it's funny because the B movie came out 9 years later, right? There's definitely some negative points there somewhere, right? For a movie that copied Antz, you know? It's a bit wild.
I want to see if the B movie is also Dreamworks as well.
Yeah, what was the old ant? Barbatus or something? Whoever the old ant was where he goes to war with, right?
Yeah, Barbados. Yeah.
I loved every line he said. It was really funny.
He is very funny, yeah.
So I think the comedy in this film is pretty good. I'm thinking 3.5 to 4.
I think I'll go 3.5 because there's a lot of Woody Allen stuff that doesn't work.
Yeah. If you took out all the Woody Allen stuff, it'd be like a 4.5.
But also, he is funny in this movie sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes.
So we keep it at a 3.5. 3.5.
B-movie is also Dreamworks, but it's a different team behind it.
Yeah.
But it is also Dreamworks, which is funny. Bugs Life, jokes. It's pretty...
That's pretty funny.
Pretty good. It's not as funny as Toy Story. I think Toy Story's got, like, more...
Yeah.
Actually, no, there's a lot of good jokes in this movie.
Yeah, I like The Rock. It did the 3. It did the rule of threes with The Rock, and I was very happy about it.
Yeah, it did.
Because at the start of the film, the main character makes a rock analogy. He's like, pretend this is a seed. And Dot is like, but it's not a seed, it's a rock.
Yeah.
He's like, pretend it's a seed.
Pretend it's a seed.
And then later on, she gives him a rock, and she's like, pretend this is a seed. And that cheers him up. Like, it's this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then at the very end of the film, they give a rock to the ants. It's like, here's a gift. It's a rock. And it's like this continuing joke. And I was like, hey, it's the rules of 3. They did it. Oh my God. I was laughing. It was very good.
I liked a lot of the jokes with the spider. Also, why in A Bug's Life? Why do the women ants have Pixar mum bods? They've got butts and boobs, and I'm like, why? Why Princess Ada built like that? Why are you sexualizing an ant? What the fuck's wrong with you, Pixar?
For legal reasons, I can't answer this question.
I'm like, what?
But I say that's a positive, Sandra. So
The reason I bring that up is because the spider in A Bug's Life also built like a Pixar. That spider's thick, I'll tell you that much.
that's just a different discussion altogether. Is why do they keep making their characters so sexy? But anyway,
but there's a line that she gets where she's like, and that's how my 12th husband died, and I became a widow again. I mean, I've always been a black widow, but that's how I became a widow. I was just like, that's a good joke. That's a very funny joke.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I wanted to mention this in jokes. This is a very important thing. They make bug jokes.
Yes.
They make ant jokes.
They make ant jokes, which they don't do in Ants, which is very weird.
Which they don't do in ants, which is a big missed opportunity because they don't understand how ants work. And I'm like, do they not understand how ants work? But then I watched A Bug's Life and they did make ant jokes. They made bug jokes and it made sense. And I was so happy.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was great.
Also, this is probably something to mention earlier, but like in Ants, we've got the ants, and the ants are anthropomorphic. They're anthropomorphic.
We're so funny.
The termites are not. The termites are just like alien monsters.
Yeah.
But the wasps are anthropomorphic as well, so it's kind of like, okay, the termites, they're the bad guys though, so it's, it's kind of okay. And also, like, termites are not that intelligent, so it's fine, whatever, it's fine.
Here's the thing, right? History is written by the victors.
Oh, and the ants are the victors.
I would just say, I'm just going to throw it out there that there's a different perspective where they were definitely anthropomorphic, and there's a lot of war propaganda, I would say.
That's a good point. But in A Bug's Life, all of the bugs are anthropomorphic, aside from when they're not. There's a couple bugs in there that are not. Like, for example...
Which ones?
It's not a bug, but why is the bird not talking?
Because the bird's different. Bird's different. It speaks bird, first of all. So it might have been saying things the whole time. You don't know.
Maybe.
And history is written by the winners. So
Sure.
the bugs would write the birds as big monsters.
It's true. And I'm guessing, like, maybe the snails, we don't see any snails in A Bug's Life, but we do see a band playing snail shells, which would make me think that snails are not anthropomorphic in this world. If they're playing their dead corpses...
I disagree, Sandro. You are stretching right now because they were not on screen, so you have no evidence for this claim, sir. I would say it's just like making a drum out of, like, skeletons, right? Which a metal band would do.
Yeah, metal band would do that.
They have those. They make them in the style. Yeah.
Well, then what about
it's dark. It's kind of fucked up, but, you know, it would happen.
What about the aphid? The aphid's not anthropomorphic because it's a little dog.
Okay, you bring up the aphid, and there was a lot of questions I had about that aphid, actually.
It's barely on screen, too, by the way.
It's barely on screen, but it brings up a lot of questions, because the ladybugs are supposed to eat aphids, but that never comes up. I was like, what is with that aphid? Why is it that's like a Goofy and that fucking dog that they have in the Disney thing. It's like, wait, they have Goofy, and he's a talking dog, but they also have a non-talking dog? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah.
So it brings into perspective this one. I don't know. And my only explanation is that this bug must be like a monkey type thing, right? And that makes sense for an aphid, because they're not particularly advanced bugs. They go and sit on a flower and they eat it, right? Like, it is a point, though. It's a valid point that you bring up, because this aphid confused me. I'm like, is this bug just not very smart? But it doesn't appear much on screen. I'm more distracted by the weird, like, old people relationship that this queen has with this other old one. They're like, we're old and we're getting it on. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
That was probably the most adult joke in the movie, actually. Yeah, for sure. Other jokes, I liked when one of them was like, Jiminy H. Cricket. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I laughed at that. I don't think Bug's Life is as funny as Antz.
Whoa,
in that
shots fired.
There aren't as many straight up jokes. There's just like funny characters to laugh at. There aren't really like jokes. But I think it's still pretty funny.
I think it was good. I liked it. I would put it, if not the same, then a little higher. But at 3.5 seems pretty good as well.
I think 3.5 is good as well, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with Antz is it's got a lot of jokes and some of them don't age well, whereas Bug's Life doesn't have a ton of jokes and they're all pretty good. Oh, wait, the fat jokes. Hang on.
Yeah, the fat jokes are bad, but I liked Hopper's whole shtick as well. Like, he had his silly brother. Like, it had good humor.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily have lots of jokes, but it had good humor. Like, he has his goofy brother, which is being a goofball, and he's like, shut the biddle leap up. Oh, and then when they have the circus come through, right? And Hopper's like, what the fuck is this crap, you know? And then the little beetles come out and they start punching each other, and he's like, you know what? That's real funny.
Yeah.
I liked that. I thought that was funny, that the guys actually really love the circus.
I like that too.
Which was very funny.
I liked how they're from a different country and I think Flicker's talking at them and the two pillbugs are like, I think they're talking like German or something. I don't remember what language they
don't speak English, which is weird and very funny.
I'm like, how do they get here then?
It doesn't make any sense.
What's going on?
It's great.
Why does the caterpillar have a German accent? Is he from Germany? I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
And I like how the flies reference that they only live for a day. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah. Well, see, that's more bug jokes. They make bug jokes. And it's funny. So I say we keep it at a 3.5, keeping into consideration the fat jokes and the fact that there was slightly less jokes.
I agree.
But it was still good humor.
Cool. All right, and now for the final category, the rip-off scale.
Ooh.
The rip-off scale.
Ooh. This one's interesting. Explain what the rip-off scale is.
Well,
what are you trying to say with this?
I feel like this is going to work better for next week's bonus battle, but...
okay.
These two movies are very, 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 very similar.
It's true. They are both animated bug movies that came out on the same year, right?
In the same year, very close to each other. They're both kind of, it's Walt Disney versus Dreamworks, two companies who were, they had a feud. There was a real life actual feud around this movie because,
Yeah.
you know.
They were so similar. Yeah. What everybody would have questions as to like what happened here? How did this happen?
Yeah, I don't know who's in the right here.
It's a Bug's Life. They're in the right. Bug's Life is in the right. Because I like that movie more.
I mean, that's, you know, history is written by the victors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think, like, because, like, Bugs, like, the movie that Antz became was originally an idea for Disney that never really got made. Jeffrey Katzenberg was, who started DreamWorks. He worked at Disney, and then he left to start DreamWorks. And then I met, like, maybe he took the idea with him. Mm-hmm. So the idea of Bug's Life was always kind of in the Disney world.
Yeah.
And then he took the idea with him. But I don't know, like, if he started making that because they were making Bug's Life, or if he just started making it separately. I'm not sure really what's happening there.
I definitely think there's a little sus on Antz. I'm a little sus of Antz. I think they're a little sussy Barker. They did come out first, though, which is interesting, but it does have a lot less polish, so I'm wondering, did it rush it? Like, obviously, by the end, they knew they were both making it, right? Like, that would have come out. There's definitely sus all around. There's something happening here, right?
There's some sus stuff, like Katzenberg, when the guy in charge of Pixar was like, hey, what the fuck, dude? When he was like, hey, what the fuck, dude? Why are you making this movie is so similar to our movie? When that happened, he was like, it was one of my executives pitched it. And I was like, that's a great idea. I completely forgot about the idea that we had at Disney.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't believe him.
little sus. Yeah.
I like that both movies exist, quite frankly. But anyway, the rip-off scale. So, if we are going by histories written by the victor here is obviously Bug's Life. So Antz is the ripoff.
Yeah.
But how big of a ripoff is Antz?
That's the thing, right? As you said, this might be a better scale for next week, but there is something here, and like it's hard to pick sides because we don't know.
We don't know what happened.
But it's like if we say Antz is a ripoff of A Bug's Life, if we just go with that objective,
if we go with that as an objective fact, which I don't trust either guy.
Yeah. They're both as bad as each other. They're like fucking 5-year-olds feuding.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you're not really on either of their sides.
I think the release date for Bug's Life was already locked in, and then Katzenberg was like, just because we got a feud, I'm gonna set Antz's release date. I'm going to move it forward a couple months so that it's competing with your movie, which does make me think that Antz is the ripoff if that's what happened.
Yeah, it does feel like it. In my heart of hearts, it feels like it. So I'm going to say we give a point to A Bug's Life. And I'm not sure how we do that on the scale, right? We just give them the same score, but one gets +1, right?
I think like for the rip-off scale,
there's only like a point difference.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If it was more obviously a rip-off, like there would be more points given, but we just give them a flat base score and then give it. So I'm saying we give 5 out of 5 to Bug's Life.
Yeah.
And give 4 out of 5 to Antz.
I think that makes sense, and the rip-off scale probably shouldn't have been points-based now that I think about it. It should have just been a discussion point. But, that's fine, it's fine.
But that's all right. I like it because it's important for next week.
Yeah.
Because, we'll give more points.
Yeah, from what I'm reading here, I would definitely say that Bug's Life came first, and then Antz seems a bit sus.
Yeah. Bug's Life has the advantage because it looks better. It feels like it was in development for a longer time.
Yeah.
Whereas Antz was rushed out to beat it. So if Antz had come out later, a bit more polished, it would be probably even.
I agree. If they spent a little bit more time on Antz. Also, like he moved the Antz release date up so that it would be before Bug's Life came out to kind of fuck them over a little bit. But he did that and then was like, hey, if you move A Bug's Life release date, because A Bug's Life was meant to come out the same week as The Prince of Egypt. And he was like, well, I'm going to get fucked over with The Prince of Egypt. So if you delay A Bug's Life, our movies aren't competing, then I'll delay Antz, so that these two movies aren't competing.
Ah.
So he was like doing a little bit of that, which is, you know, a little bit slimy, just a little bit maybe.
Yeah, a little bit sus. Just very sus.
And also, like, yeah, the fact that Antz is a 3D animation is what makes me feel like it's definitely a ripoff, because Pixar were the 3D guys.
Ah.
Everyone was doing, like, 2D animation at that time.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he was like, I'm going to make a 3D animated movie that's very similar to the Pixar movie that's currently in development.
Maybe we give it a 1.5. 1.5. So it would get a 3.5 and then a 5. Yep.
But I don't know. I want to know what actually happened here. I want to make a documentary about it, honestly. I think that'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
I'd love to explore it a bit more.
That'd be cool. There's probably a YouTube deep dive out there somewhere.
Hell yeah. But anyway, we should wrap this up and add up the points, unless you can think of any other categories.
Nope, I think that's good. I think we've covered everything I wanted to cover, you know. Look, if we were rating B movie, that would get like a 1 total of rip-off scale, because it's just ants, but with a weird human subplot. It's like, why are you copying ants? Come on. So, like, I think we've covered everything I wanted to cover for these movies.
All right, well, I'm adding up the points now. And honestly, they're pretty close to what I would actually rate these movies, from what I can see here, which is pretty good.
There you go. Yeah. I think so. And look, no surprise, I think A Bug's Life is a better film.
Yeah.
But Antz wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was going into this with the perspective that I'd only heard about these films, and I was like, one of these is a ripoff of the other, and I'm like, okay, Antz is the ripoff, so it's going to be shit, whereas A Bug's Life is going to be really good. Antz was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. There was a lot of effort put into it, obviously by the animators and the cast and crew, to like try and make it as best as possible, even if it is just like a rushed effort to rip off the other one. Allegedly. Then, like, they still did a really good job, so good on them.
For sure.
Except you, Woody Allen. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck Woody Allen. I think they're different enough that I'm glad that they both exist. Next week, I don't know how different they're going to be. We're going to have to wait and see.
Ooh, yeah. We'll see how it goes.
But these two, yeah, are definitely different enough that I think they both should exist, but also a little bit slimy on Dreamworks. A little bit, actually, maybe a little bit. But also,
I think they're both fucking slimy boys.
That's true. John Lasseter, he's super slimed up on a Wednesday. I tell you that much.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. It's time for the points. Out of a possible 40 points, coming in dead last on 20.5 points.
20.5. Okay, all right.
down the middle.
Just above the middle. Just above the middle ground.
It's Antz, obviously.
Yeah. It's peddling water, you know? I laughed at a lot of jokes. I liked a lot of the characters, you know?
I think it's pretty funny. I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
In like 10 years, maybe.
Lol.
Maybe. I don't know. It's pretty funny. And then coming in at 31.5 points.
Yep.
Bug's Life.
Bug's Life, yeah.
Winning the bonus battle. There we go.
There you go. And look, I think it's pretty good. If you're going to watch either one of these two movies, I'd say A Bug's Life is probably your best choice.
I would say, yeah, particularly if you're with a child.
Yeah,
if a child's around, put on Bug's Life. They'll have a fun time.
I like the creativeness. I like the sets. I like the like plot points. It all makes a bit of sense. And it is a better kids' film, at least. That's for sure.
Although, I will say, one part about Bug's Life has not aged well, and that's the Randy Newman song at the end. He is a bug, and the bug is the bug. I was like, what the?
I listened to that. I was jamming.
It's kind of funny.
I started that up, and I was like, haha, this is funny, silly bug song.
All right, now we can have our opinions be loose. Zach, is Antz and Oldie or a Goodie?
Antz, ooh.
It's tough, hey?
Ooh, Oldie.
Really?
I'm going to give it an Oldie.
Really?
Because I think you're going to give it a Goodie, which is fair.
I am going to give it a Goodie.
I think it's a thing, but like,
I think it deserves both.
yeah, exactly, right. So like, I would maybe watch this again. I'm not super keen to watch it again, but I did laugh a lot. I didn't think it was the worst. I love fucking Sylvester Stallone Ant.
Yeah.
He's my favorite Ant of both movies, but I liked A Bug's Life a lot more, and I feel like there's a lot that deserves an Oldie in this film, so I'm giving it an Oldie.
All right. I'm going to give it a Goodie because I think I had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah. You got a bit of nostalgia there as well, you know?
A little bit of, like, weird nostalgia. Like, not nostalgia where I'm, like, nostalgic for the movie, but nostalgia where I'm, like I watch it and I'm like, I remember this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it a goodie, but also it does deserve an oldie and a goodie. It's both. Bug's Life, though, that gets a pretty easy goodie from me.
Yeah, that one's an easy goodie for me.
Yeah.
I definitely liked it a lot more in the film, and I would definitely watch A Bug's Life again.
Hell yeah.
The problem with Antz, and why I wouldn't watch it again, is because I'd just watch A Bug's Life instead. That's the main problems with Antz. The main problem with Antz is A Bug Life exists.
All right, well, there we go. That is the bonus battle done, and we'll be back next week for Armageddon versus Deep Impact.
Yeah, now let's go check out Tony. He's probably fixed the giant portal machine, right?
Oh, you called for me.
Ah, there we go. Yes, Tony. Yeah. Have you finished fixing the laser that I didn't pay for to begin with?
Yes.
Yes, you did?
I couldn't remember for a second, and then I remembered what I did for the last hour and a half, which was fix this laser. Here you go.
Did you? I'm concerned now. It looks like you've just put duct tape and bubble gum on it.
It will work. It will fix.
All right. Yep. It will fix. Sorry.
Yes.
All right. Well, I have full confidence in Tony. This guy seems like a sane individual with his weird shop and weird fandoms.
You know what? I agree, Zach. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
We're staying in 98 for next week's bonus battle.
Yeah.
So you don't really need to use the portal right now.
I forgot. I don't even need to use it.
No.
Wow. I could just sit here. How are we supposed to end the episode if I don't jump through a portal? You know what?
What?
Maybe I'll just shoot a portal here and teleport to here again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds pretty fun.
Should I test out the big one, or should I just use the normal one for this one?
Fuck it. Let's do the big one. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Maybe
let's
it'll
try it
break
out.
again.
Let's try
Who
it out.
knows?
But I really hope not. All right, turning it on. Whoa, that's louder than the other ones. Whoa, that's a big portal gun.
Oh,
All right.
yeah, that sounds really different, actually.
All right, and I guess I'll jump through the portal. Here I go. It's like, oh no! There shouldn't be two portals in the same plane. It's messing up. I'm getting split. Ah!
What a cliffhanger.